This footage comes to us from an urban explorer investigating what appears to be an abandoned home left in complete disarray. The walls are peeling, debris covers the floors, and personal belongings like vintage photographs and an old jewelry box remain untouched, as if the previous occupants vanished without a trace. The atmosphere is undeniably heavy. As the explorer navigates through the dark, narrow corridors, documenting the unsettling silence of the decaying property, the tension slowly builds. Pay close attention to the final moments of his sweep through the house, because the quiet exploration is about to be violently interrupted by something completely unexpected. The sudden shift from a quiet walkthrough to pure panic is jarring. Right at the end of the exploration, something off-camera triggers a massive flight response, sending the explorer running blindly into the night. Some viewers believe a territorial entity finally made its presence known, perhaps manifesting physically or creating a sound so terrifying that running was the only option. Skeptics argue it could have been a wild animal startled in the dark, or simply the psychological weight of the abandoned house finally breaking the explorer's nerves. The way the camera violently shakes as he escapes leaves the exact cause shrouded in mystery. What do you think forced him out so aggressively? The next piece of evidence comes from the account of Luis Balderas. He has gained a following by documenting a series of strange occurrences within his own residence. For weeks, he has reported the sound of small feet running across the roof and the feeling of being observed from the shadows of his backyard. This particular clip was captured late at night when he decided to investigate a persistent scratching sound near his back door. The environment is quiet, but there is an undeniable tension in the air as he steps out into the darkness. He expects to find a stray animal, but what the camera reveals is something much more peculiar and small.
Cosas viejas, pero la verdad, ahorita yo estoy solito aquí. Tengo mucho miedo, mames. ¿Qué fue eso? Ay, no sé si sea buena idea. No sé si sea buena idea. Yo aquí no hay nada. Ay, no sé qué fue eso. O sea, está súper rarísimo. No sé qué habrá sido, la verdad. Pero donde más se escucha es allá arriba y la neta me están temblando las piernas para...
That small crouched figure by the fence is unlike any known urban animal. It seems to watch the subject with intense curiosity before vanishing into the tall grass near the patio area.
Se escucha es allá arriba y la neta me están temblando las piernas para subir. No, no mames. Algo se está moviendo allá arriba. No mames. No mames, no mames, no mames, ¿qué fue eso? No manches. No mames. ¿Qué fue eso? ¿Qué fue eso? ¿Qué fue eso? No mames. No mames, no mames. Esto fue lo que se movió. Ay, me está temblando la mano. Uf. Ay, tengo las orejas hasta calientes. Aquí no, pues aquí nadie tiene acceso. O sea, no sube nadie. O sea, ahorita les voy a enseñar que no hay nada, nada ni nadie aquí. No mames. De hecho, que está como cerrada. Aquí no hay nada.
The second sighting confirms that this entity is not a solitary visitor. Some believe these are elemental spirits or small humanoids, specifically because of the way the creature reacts to the light. Others argue it is a trained animal or a puppet, suggesting the jerky movements indicate a physical control mechanism. Skeptics also point out that the low light conditions make it easy to mistake common objects for faces. Regardless of the origin, the persistent nature of these visits has left the uploader in a state of constant vigilance. Is this a playful visitor or something that should be avoided? I would love to hear your interpretation of this backyard mystery. Do these small figures remind you of local legends? We turn our attention to a submission from the channel Mysterio JL, which frequently investigates manifestations across Latin America. This footage was recorded in an old village where residents have long spoken of a presence that haunts the local streets after midnight. The uploader was skeptical of the stories until they witnessed a series of events that could not be easily dismissed. The video begins with a quiet walk through the cobblestone paths, where the only sound is the echoing of footsteps against the stone. It is a place frozen in time, but as the night progresses, the stillness is broken by a manifestation that challenges the laws of physics.
Aren't you going to eat? Look at the figure that's there, dude. Look, Colombians have already burned it. Look at this figure.
What's up?
A dark mass appears to detach from the wall and glide across the path. It has no discernible features, yet it moves with intent toward the corner where the next event unfolds.
Oh my God!
It was heard clearly, dude.
That's just the way it is.
Are you following?
I think so, you see? It was
A
her.
child's voice is clear, dude. Something happened over here on this side, dude. Here. Something happened to Colombia over there.
Thank you for watching.
Hi,
That's
how
what
are
I'm
you,
talking
YouTube?
about.
The second manifestation is even more startling as a physical object is violently moved by an unseen force. Some viewers believe this is a manifestation of residual energy from the village's past, specifically because of the localized nature of the movement. Others argue it is a simple practical effect using hidden wires, pointing to the trajectory of the object. Skeptics also point out that wind gusts in narrow alleys can create surprising force. However, the timing of the event following the shadow's passage is highly suggestive of a connection. What do you think is roaming these old streets? Your theories are always welcome in the comments section below. Let us know if you have seen something similar. We have just witnessed 3 incredible pieces of evidence from around the globe. From the dense forests to the quiet streets of old villages, the unknown continues to manifest in ways that defy our understanding. If you are captivated by these investigations, make sure to subscribe to Pale Playback and hit the bell icon so you never miss a new discovery. We bring you fresh evidence and forensic analysis every single week. Stay with us, because the upcoming clips feature encounters that are even more personal and direct. You won't want to look away from what comes next. This next recording comes from the channel of Saray, a guide who explores the unseen energies of our world. She often records her sessions to document the subtle manifestations that occur in her presence. In this video, she is alone in her study, preparing for an evening meditation. The room is softly lit and the environment feels peaceful, yet as the minutes pass, the camera begins to pick up distortions that were not visible to the eye. Saray herself seems to sense a shift in the room's energy, a cold presence that settles in the corner behind her. What begins as a calm evening quickly turns into a documented encounter with a restless spirit.
Se le regalaron a mi hija, esta ahorita para Navidad. Me quedé sola yo aquí en mi casa hace como que unos 2 o 3 días. Y yo estaba acostada cuando sola empezó a sonar, pero si se dan cuenta no tiene absolutamente nada aquí, porque yo todo le quito, pues mira, si le tocas absolutamente todo se le quita, mira.
Lo que te dije, esta muñeca no para de moverse, estoy aquí acostada y mira, fíjate, no deja de moverse, no deja de sonar sola, yo no la he tocado absolutamente para nada, la he tocado para nada, la he movido y mírala. Y estoy totalmente sola, o sea, es en serio, no hay nadie. ¡Ay, Dios mío santo! ¿Quién está ahí? ¿Quién está ahí? ¿Hola? Y es que no hay nadie, o sea, yo estoy sola en la casa, mira. No te estoy mintiendo, estoy totalmente sola aquí en la casa. La niña no está, porque pues la niña está ahorita con mi mamá, la niña no está. ¿Soy yo o la maleta se movió? ¿Quién está ahí? Virgen Santa, Virgen Santa. Esto se acaba de mover hacia mí. Se sigue moviendo ¿Cómo se llama esa cosa de allá abajo? Estoy toda nerviosa. No hay nadie. Yo estoy totalmente sola aquí en la casa, mira. Estaba acostada.
A pale, shimmering orb drifts behind the subject. It is not a mere dust mote, as it changes direction and pulsates with a faint light before a larger shadow begins to form in the corner.
¿Cómo se llama esa cosa de allá abajo? Estoy toda nerviosa. No hay nadie. Yo estoy totalmente sola aquí en la casa, mira. Estaba acostada. Ya está bien tarde. Son como la 1, las 2 de la mañana. Y esta bendita muñeca empezó. Ya me da hasta miedo tocarla. Empezó sola a moverse, a cantar. ¡Ay, Dios! Intentaron abrir esta puerta. Intentaron abrir literalmente esta puerta. ¿Hola? No, pues que yo sé que no hay nadie porque yo estoy sola, pues. No hay absolutamente nadie aquí. No tengo más que claro, no hay nadie, mira. Aquí estoy yo totalmente... Padre Celestial, ¿soy yo? ¿Estoy mal o hay alguien allá parado? Esta cosa se está... Mira, mira, fíjate. Va para el cuarto de la niña. ¿Te das cuenta? Mírala. Va para el cuarto de la niña. ¿Qué tienes, muñeca? Tengo nervios de tocarla. Muñeca, ¿qué tienes? ¿Por qué lloras? No llores. ¿Qué tienes? ¿Qué quieres? A ver, dime, ¿qué quieres? ¿Qué es lo que te pasa, muñeca? ¿Estás enojada?
The second anomaly shows a clear humanoid shape appearing in the reflection of the glass. Some believe this is a genuine spiritual visitation, specifically because of the way the figure mimics the subject's movements with a slight delay. Others argue it is a double exposure or a reflection of someone standing off camera, citing the fixed angle of the shot. Skeptics also point out that lens flares can often create shapes that the human mind interprets as faces. However, Sarai's visceral reaction to the presence adds a layer of authenticity to the event. Do you believe these energies can be captured on camera? Tell us your experiences in the comments. We value your perspective. The following footage was shared by the account Moradores Nocturnos, a page dedicated to the strange things that happen while we sleep. This security camera was installed in a hallway after the residents complained of hearing heavy pacing outside their bedroom doors. The building is relatively new, yet the activity suggests a much older and more persistent energy. In this clip, the hallway is empty and illuminated by the pale glow of night vision. For the first few minutes, nothing seems out of the ordinary, but then the camera captures a figure that should not be there. It is a stark reminder that even in our own homes, we may not be as alone as we think.
A ver. ¿Qué carajo? Mames. Quédate, hijo, quédate. No mames. Amor. No me lo vas a creer. Tú síguele. Marcus. Aguanta. No mames. Ahí está mi otra puerta. Está cerrada. Y no hay nada. Está mi perro nomás. Verga. ¡Amor!
A tall, dark figure peeks around the doorway at the end of the hall. It remains motionless for a moment before retreating, only to reappear in a different location moments later.
Está mi otra puerta. Está cerrada. Y no hay nada. Está mi perro nomás. Verga. ¡Amor! ¿Qué onda, banda? Son las 3 y cacho de la mañana. Estoy grabando este video porque nos despertaban unos golpes en la puerta, como si estuvieran tocando. Pensamos que era el perro, pero ya son muchos y repetidamente. No sé, estoy con mi esposa y mi hijo. Y a mi esposa me dijo que ya me levante a ver porque si ya ya está raro, así que pues, vamos a ir a ver qué onda, porque esto sí está... Está canijo, ya están tocando mucho y el perro sí ya no puede ser. Yo nomás voy a buscar unas chanclas, unos tenis o algo y pues vamos a ver qué onda, que sí ya. Esto está raro. Vamos a ver qué.
The second sighting is more direct as the figure walks across the frame with surprising speed. Some viewers believe this is a genuine shadow entity, specifically because of the lack of light reflection on its surface. Others argue it is a person in dark clothing, pointing out the gait of the individual as being human. Skeptics also point out that compression artifacts and security footage can create humanoid shapes from moving shadows. However, the residents insist that no one else was in the house at the time. This leaves us with the unsettling question of who was pacing that hallway. Share your theories below. Have you ever caught something similar? We journey now to the historic Château de Montmagne in France, a location renowned for its long and often tragic history. Explorers and historians alike have visited the site, reporting cold spots and the sound of distant whispers in the Grand Hall. This footage was recorded by a visitor who spent the night to document the chateau's legendary spirits. The architecture is stunning, but the weight of the past is palpable in every frame. As the explorer moves through the upper corridors, the camera captures a manifestation that has since become one of the most famous pieces of evidence from the site. It is a glimpse into a time long gone, yet still very much present.
We didn't catch the mouse. There was no mouse last night. However, there is something else we did catch. And yeah, I'm going to go and get Ted to come and watch the footage.
What are we looking at?
Right, so let me start playing. So this is from last night. This is me setting the camera up. So I'll set the camera up so you can see the hole in the corner. Can you see it? I hope you can see it. Anyway, I'm off to bed. It's very late. So we'll see whether we catch this mouse out in the morning. And then Ted will have to believe me that there is something running above our bedroom. I'll see you all in the morning. Good night. Now you heard me put the latch on the door there.
Yeah, it sounded like it, yeah.
Okay, so the sensor light's gone out.
Right.
So I'm going to forward this bit because it's about 2 hours, well, it is 2 hours, 27 minutes into filming last night. Now, we went to bed about midnight, so this would be about 2:30. This happens.
A translucent figure in period attire is seen walking past the window. It appears to be carrying a light, though no source of flame is visible in the reflection of the glass corridor.
7 minutes into filming last night. Now, we went to bed about midnight, so this would be about 2:30. This happens. Now, you heard the latch go off the door. And that's the light coming on.
The motion sensor light.
Yeah.
Bloody hell, what? There's shadow there?
Yeah.
I can see a shadow moving across it.
Yeah. Keep watching.
Oh my God. What? That's got to be an animal or something, isn't it?
That was a big shadow for an animal.
How? You can't.
How can an animal get up
You can't have put the latch on properly.
I put the latch on because you heard the latch go on.
Yeah.
And you heard the latch come off.
I didn't actually hear the latch come off, but, you know...
Right, let me play that again. You hear the latch?
Right, yeah.
The second event captures the same figure standing at the end of the long gallery, staring toward the camera. Some believe this is a residual haunting of a former inhabitant, specifically because the figure follows a consistent path. Others argue it is a projection or a digital edit, suggesting the transparency is too uniform. Skeptics also point out that reflections of the explorer's own gear could be misinterpreted in the wood of the chateau. However, the lack of an identifiable source for the light remains a major point of debate. What is your take on this apparition? Is the chateau truly a bridge to the past? Comment your theories down below for our community to discuss. The evidence continues to mount, from the personal spaces of guides to the ancient halls of French chateaus. These encounters remind us that the line between our reality and the unknown is thinner than we think. If you're finding these cases as compelling as we do, please consider subscribing to Pale Playback. Your support allows us to continue our forensic investigations into the world's most unsettling footage. We publish new episodes every week, each one diving deeper into the mysteries that surround us. Now, prepare yourselves for our final and perhaps most disturbing case of the night. You won't want to miss the final revelation. Our final case today comes from TikTok user Sid Lane, who has documented an escalation of activity in her residence. What started as misplaced keys and strange sounds in the walls has turned into a haunting that she can no longer ignore. In this lengthy recording, she attempts to capture the presence that has been disrupting her life. The setting is her living room, where she has set up cameras to monitor the space. The atmosphere is one of pure dread, as she describes the physical sensations of being watched and the sudden drops in temperature. What follows is a series of events that have left her and her viewers searching for answers in the dark.
So I wanted to show you guys some footage of my dog with these stairs. Again, she's been doing this ever since we got here, every single day. It's usually at different times, so it'll be pretty sporadic on when she does this. But the first time my sister actually, when she was out running an errand with my niece, she came home and she was like, oh my God, what is she doing right now? And I ran over from the kitchen and literally this is her. Like, she's just standing here, kind of sniffing around, just very, very focused and very, like, something is definitely making her, like, very interested. Like, she just seems so like locked in on these stairs. It was super weird. But then I started noticing it too, like at random times of the day and night. So here's another clip that I got of her doing it. This is when I had seen her like walk over to the stairs, and then I was in the living room watching TV, and there she is again, just back at it, just sniffing around, kind of standing there. And then this clip right here, this one really freaked me out. So I kind of knew that it was happening because it had gotten really quiet. She left my side. I was in my room in bed, about to go to sleep, and I just, lo and behold, see her, like, walk over and see her. And she was so locked into the stairs this time around. It was so spooky, guys. Like, honestly, I literally at this point, I was like, I need to ask this landlord, like, what is going on? Cause yeah, I had to definitely let him know, because I had no idea at this point what was going on with her. But yeah, so I think I figured out why my dog just is always hanging out right here.
A chair in the corner is suddenly dragged across the floor by an invisible hand. This is a manifestation of physical force that sends the uploader into a panic as the activity intensifies.
Yeah, so I think I figured out why my dog just is always hanging out right here. So I just found the door back here. So I don't think that it's what's on the stairs. I think it's something that's underneath. So I tried to check, but the door is locked. Obviously it's an Airbnb, so they lock a lot of the doors up, but so yeah, I don't think that it's what's on the stairs, like what I initially thought. I think it's what's below. I'm gonna find out at this point. So this is the switch. You guys can see their light is on right there. Just there's something right behind the door. Oh my god. This corner of the house right now, me, my sister, my niece, we're renting out this Airbnb for a wedding this weekend, and we were just out walking my dog. And when we came in, we heard Jesus Christ.
Oh my God, what is that? Oh my God, what is that?
Okay, so I sent the video to the landlord of the Airbnb, and hold on, let me turn on the light. Okay. I sent the video to the landlord of the Airbnb asking, like, hey, is there someone else renting it out as well as us or what? Because there's a room under the stairs that we can't get into. It's locked. So I didn't know. And basically he was like, no, you guys are the only ones that are in the Airbnb right now, like booked out for the week. So, okay. Kind of feel relieved, in a way, because I think it would be really weird and kind of creepy if there were people staying there as well that we didn't know about. But yeah, he didn't seem worried at all.
The final anomaly is a face that appears briefly in the dark gap of the door. Some believe this is a classic poltergeist case, specifically because of the nature of the physical activity. Others argue it is a series of staged events designed for viral growth, pointing to the framing of the camera during the chair movement. Skeptics also point out that pets or hidden strings could replicate these effects. However, the emotional toll on the subject is clear throughout her documentation. Is this a genuine cry for help or a story? The choice is yours. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the playback. Don't forget to leave a comment with your verdict on these cases. That concludes our investigation for tonight. We have journeyed from the deepest woods to the most personal living spaces, witnessing evidence that challenges our perception of reality. Whether these are glimpses into a hidden world or manipulations of the lens, the feeling they leave behind is undeniable. At Pale Playback, we believe in looking closer, questioning the evidence, and letting you, the viewer, decide the ultimate truth. If you have your own evidence of the unexplained, or if one of tonight's cases resonated with you, please share your story in the comments. We are a community of truth seekers, and your voice is a vital part of the investigation. Thank you for watching, and remember to stay vigilant, for the unknown is never as far away as it seems. Join us next week as we continue to play back the world's most disturbing evidence. Until then, keep your eyes on the shadows and your mind open to the impossible.